On today's episode, we're going to be looking at some lower and upper dog bone mount inserts for your MQB vehicle. In this specific case, in this video, it is for the Audi S3. In this video, guys, I'm going to show you how you can install it, why you should upgrade, and personally, I think this is one of the best first mods you can do for your vehicle. So without further ado, let's get into the video. If you guys are new here, I'm Champagne S3. Welcome to the channel. This channel specifically revolves around me building my Audi S3 2017 with mods, DIYs, things like that. If you guys are interested, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me to grow this channel in the long run. So big announcement for you guys. I am officially happy to announce that 03 Motorsports is now an official sponsor for the Audi S3. Now, my goals with the vehicle, as you guys maybe have seen from my previous video, I did an 11.5 pass on the quarter mile last season, full street trim, just on 94 octane. And my goals for this year are to get a 10-second pass. So with their help at 03 Motorsports, we're going to look to reduce some wheel hop, get rid of some drivetrain slop, and at the end of the day is get more power to the ground and get a better 60 foot. So you guys must be asking yourself, what exactly is a dog bone mount and why do I need to upgrade it? So a dog bone mount, simply a pendulum mount, is a component that is made so that it absorbs and restricts the back and forward movement of the engine. Because our cars are kind of geared towards comfort as well, car manufacturers make this dog bone mount have somewhat of a play in it. The reason for that is to reduce NVH. For you guys that don't know, NVH is noise, vibration, and harshness. So obviously for the daily, your regular consumer, any kind of vibration in the car, they're going to kind of be concerned because they wouldn't expect a car to vibrate like that from factory. All this extra plate in that dog bone mount is not good for us car enthusiasts, because what that means is it affects our launches, especially guys, if you guys have increased the horsepower of your car just like I have, you're going to experience wheel hop. So what wheel hop is basically the car struggling to get traction off of launch and just the wheels spinning back and forth before it actually hooks up and goes. Now, this can be dangerous as well and cause damage to other components in your vehicle, especially if you're running really high horsepower and you fail to address the issue with wheel hop. So that is exactly what we're doing today, guys. We are going to be adding some inserts to our dog bone mount pucks. The puck is basically like a circular, almost rubberized component. Now, like I said, because it is geared towards comfort, there's going to be a lot of empty voids in it. Now, what 03 Motorsports has done is they have made some inserts. Now these inserts simply go into the voids of the OEM puck and restrict the movement to make it tighter and overall reduce drivetrain slop, and in turn for us will reduce wheel hop, which is exactly what we need if we want to get a better quarter mile result this year. So my goal this year, guys, is to hit 10s. We did a few upgrades. We're running ethanol now, and now we're looking to tighten up our drivetrain to make sure that we reduce wheel hop and we get all that power to the ground. Here are some of the tools we're going to need to do the install today. Here we have our lower dog bone insert, upper insert, and dog bone bolt kit. All items will be in the description below. So guys, first step is you're going to be jacking up your vehicle on both sides. Be safe. If you guys don't know how to jack up your vehicle, I suggest taking a look at a few videos showing you how to do that. I'm going to assume you guys know this, and we're going to continue with the install. I'm going to be recording the steps underneath the car. It can be a bit dark. What I have is I'm going to be using this little head-mounted light. I got this from Costco, guys. Super useful, especially in underneath the car. Really helps to see. It frees up both hands. Shout out to Costco. Shout out to Craig Jelnick. I look like an idiot, don't I? Next step is to take off the under tray on the S3. There are 3 screws on the driver's side, 4 on the passenger side, and 3 big ones in the back. You're going to need a T25 and a T40 to remove all of these. So guys, here is the dog bone mount, the puck, and the insert will just go right over and fill the voids in the dog bone mount puck. Further over here, this is the dog bone mount arm. This is probably what I'm going to be looking to upgrade next. These inserts right now, one will go lower and the other smaller one will go on the top. So obviously there are two version types for the lower dog bone mount insert. There's no other way to find out which one it is unless you go under your vehicle and you take a look. If you guys aren't, don't have a way to lift your car and you're going to get this installed by somebody, perhaps next time you do an oil change, just take a look at the bottom of your car when it's lifted in the air, and you can take a peek and see which one you need. Now all you need right now is the 21mm socket, and we're going to break this loose right now. So what I did, guys, I just used a socket. I have my makeshift breaker bar here just to crack this loose. If you have obviously a pretty strong impact driver, you could probably use that instead. There we go. Now guys, these are stretch bolts. So these should be one-time use. I know there are some people that have used this, just inserted the insert and just put this back in. I know you could probably do this for maybe 1 or 2 uses. We're going to do it the right way. We have bought the bolt kit, which I showed before, and we're going to be installing the new bolts. Now, because we are installing the lower and upper dog bone mount inserts, we still do need to unbolt the dog bone mount arm. We have to unbolt these 2 bolts here, which are 16mm, so we're going to do that right now. So guys, just keep in mind the back bolt closer to the dog bone mount puck is the one that has the washer, okay? So now the dog bone mount arm is free, and we're just going to slide this right out. So the insert goes just like this in this orientation. I've greased up the front and the back to try to make this as easy as possible. And let's try to put this in. Straight up. There you go. That is in. A little grease or Vaseline in this case definitely helped. Now what we want to do, guys, we want to make sure it is seated properly. You actually have to push this up a little bit more. So bear with me while I get this done. So it is a bit tough with this clearance to kind of push this up with my thumb. So I'm just going to use the end of a wrench to help kind of push it up in there. Got some grease on it, so it should go up fairly easily. So what I ended up doing, guys, I put like a wrench in between here, and I kind of just spun it a little bit to, give it some leverage to kind of push it up, which I'm successful so far pushing it up there. All right. Perfect. That looks properly seated. Hope you guys see that. As you can see, it looks properly seated. The bottom is good. Top is cleared. If you are ever in doubt, just put your hand to the top, and then you should be able to feel the top of the insert is pretty much flush over here. It's not gone in too far. So now that our upper insert is properly aligned, we can go ahead and reinsert the OEM factory dog bone mount arm. So what I could recommend, guys, is maybe put some grease up here as well, just to make it easier to go back in. Make sure you lube, the inner and outer, just to make this a little bit easier to put back in. And obviously we're going to install it in this orientation. There's only really one way to look and install it. The hollow point, the hollow portion should be facing the bottom. And we're just going to push that back in there. And we can nicely align this up here. We'll get our 2 new bolts from our bolt kit. And remember what we talked about, guys. The one with the washer goes towards the back with this kind of pattern on the bottom here, so you can't miss it. Get this one in. For now, I'm just going to gun these on. Just get them a little bit snug. And then we'll torque them to the proper spec. Alright, now with these two bolts, we're going to tighten them down to the correct spec, which is approximately 37 foot-pound torque and then 90 degrees. I got my torque wrench set up ready for it. We can go ahead and install our lower insert. So there's only really one way to put this in, guys. You can't put it in the wrong way. It just doesn't go in that orientation. So put it in this way. Make sure it is all nice and snug up there. Now we're going to install our new bolt and torque this down to spec. I'm going to be including the proper torque spec in here. Guys, when you're putting the bolt back in, you got to make sure that the bolt is actually catching. You got to make sure you're not going to cross thread this bolt. If, for example, it is not lining up, all you need to do is just push on the transmission slightly to get it lined up. And in this case, my bolt has caught in. Last thing here, guys, is we're gonna torque this down to the proper torque spec, which is 130 nanometers torque plus 90 degrees. Torque this down. We're gonna put the splash shield back on, and that's it. We're good to go. That pretty much concludes the install for this video. Pretty simple install, not very time consuming. I think probably the hardest part is going to be jacking up the car and getting it to a decent height so you can get underneath and work on it. We're going to be looking at a few other 034 Motorsports products in order to get the most that I can out of my current setup right now and get all that power to the ground. So stay tuned, guys. There's going to be a few more mods suspension wise that we're going to be doing. I hope you guys look forward to that. If you guys like the video, hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel, guys. It really helps me out. As always, thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.